Hello everyone, welcome back to Real Talk with Dr. Bird. My name is Dr. Andrea Bird. I'm a board certified naturopathic doctor. And today I wanted to go over troubleshooting any issues that one may be having when they're using castor oil. I've had some pretty good feedback from my last video, and some people were reaching out because they noticed prior to watching my video that they were having reactions when they use castor oil. I did go over some of the key things that you want to look for when you're purchasing a castor oil. So I'll go over those things today too because they're really important. And I'll go over some other deeper things that you can use to troubleshoot any issues that you may be experiencing with castor oil. So the first one, you'll want to make sure that you always have an organic castor oil. When a castor oil is not organic, it allows for certain additives to be added to the castor oil, as well as chemicals sprayed on the castor bean plant itself. So since castor oil is a dense, heavy oil, anything that is in that castor oil, it will be allowed to penetrate deeper into the layers of tissue. So wherever you put it on your body, castor oil will penetrate deeply into the tissue, and any additives or chemicals that are in that will penetrate and begin to damage that layer of tissues. So what the body does in response to this damage in order to protect itself is an inflammatory response. So some people might think that they're actually allergic to the oil when there may be chemicals or other additives added to the castor oil, and the body is going into protection mode in order to prevent damage to the tissue. So it will inflame the area. And it may also cause a skin reaction because it's trying to push those chemicals back out through the skin. So it might look like a rash or hives, something of that nature. So the next one kind of goes along with that is that hexane free. Hexane is a toxin. Castor oil is a dense oil, so it'll bring that hexane into the deeper layers of tissue, where the body then will want to protect itself, inflame, push the hexane back out of the skin, cause a skin reaction. Alright, the next one that you want to make sure your castor oil is cold pressed. Cold pressing the castor oil doesn't destroy the oil nor leave chemical residue behind. So again, you want the oil in its natural state as much as possible, so that it's able to be absorbed properly and the body doesn't cause an inflammatory protection response. And then the next one is it in an amber or dark colored glass bottle? This not only blocks light from oxidizing the actual oil, but it doesn't leach anything into the oil like a plastic bottle will do. Plastic is an endocrine disruptor, so infusing it into a dense, heavy oil will allow the plastic to get into the deeper layers of tissue, which can create a skin reaction as well as the inflammatory response. And then the next one that you'll want to make sure is the skin clean of all makeup, lotions, creams, and all other synthetic, chemical, or toxin residue from hygiene, body, and beauty products. If these are left on the skin, then the castor oil will allow these to enter into the deeper layers of the tissue and skin. And this may then look like an allergic reaction like we talked about before, because the tissues will protect themselves from damage by inflaming the area, which looks like swelling and possibly even rashes that can resemble hives. It is the body's way of trying to detox the toxicants back out through the skin. So a solution for this issue, if you're finding that yes, you are wearing makeup and you're putting it around your eyes or on your face, or if you're wearing a certain lotion, there's a bunch of not so great ingredients in those things, and you're putting the castor oil on and then you're getting a reaction, you're going to want to, one, it's best not to use those products, but if you do indeed use those, or even if they're natural products, they're still not products that necessarily are supposed to go way deeper into the tissue. So you'll want to clean the area with a non-toxic soap before applying the castor oil. So you just want to make sure you're putting it on clean skin. Nothing else is going to be mixed with that heavy, dense castor oil, so it brings it to the deeper layers of tissue in the body. You'll want to make sure it's just the castor oil that is reaching those areas to be of benefit. The next troubleshooting key thing to look for, you'll want to make sure that your lymph nodes are working properly, or you'll kind of want to assess the area. Is there any swelling or lymph node congestion that you notice in the area? So this will be like swollen lymph nodes. You see a little bit of puffiness in the area. Those are kind of be your key indicators for an issue with the lymph system. If there is an enlargement of the lymph nodes or the surrounding tissue, like I said, then you may want to do some lymphatic drainage pumping to those areas before applying the castor oil. Because what can happen is if you put the castor oil on your face, it will then increase the lymphatic drainage of those particular areas, and then that lymph drainage will go down into the neck lymph nodes and towards the heart. But if any of those lymph nodes are having an issue downstream, then the lymph fluid can back up and create tenderness, swelling, and other uncomfortable symptoms. This can be seen as a negative reaction, but the body just needs a bit of extra support, either by manual manipulation or increasing the surface area of where the castor oil is to be used or applied. So real quick, we can go over some of those lymphatic things on the face and a little bit down the body. It depends on where you're putting it at. There are some neuro-lymphatic points too in certain areas of the body, and we can go over those as well. I'll go over some of the main ones that you want to open up in certain areas before beginning to put it on the face or abdomen, and even in the lower parts of the body. So you'll want to start, it's going to be, if I can, in this area right by the side of your neck. I tend to cross my hands, and you want to pump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 to 20-ish times, and then you can kind of rub it down, and then you can go up into these lymph nodes under the jawline and pump those anywhere between 10 to 20 times. And then you're going to go up. You can make kind of like this or this, however you want to do it. But you're going to go 2 fingers in front of, 2 fingers behind, or whatever's most comfortable to you. And you're going to rub the ear anywhere between 10 to 20 times, whatever feels best for you. And then what you do when you're done with this is you're going to want to go fully down. Some people, they'll take this and they'll go across, sorry, the microphone is in the way, and then down. And then down. And then you'll want to be on each side of your nose and just kind of pump down. "10 to 20 times, or whenever it feels good. You don't have to use a lot of pressure when you're doing this. I always tend to drain it back here, and then you can go all the way down. And just make sure that's fully opened up. So that opens up all the lymphatics in the face area. So if you feel like you're congested here, even if you're putting it on your face, you might want to just do some circular movements over here, and then we'll pump into the armpit. And when that feels nice and open, I tend to cross my arms and pump the armpit lymph nodes between 10 and 20 times. And then there's a point right here, right by the armpit. Just do a little bit of circular motions, and you can kind of go bring it down. And then right by the on each side of the breastbone, these are the neuro-lymphatic points. Just kind of open those up too. It's always good to stimulate the neurological system too when you're doing this, because you want to be in rest and digest. Okay, and if you have any tender points in there, you might want to spend some extra time doing that until you feel that release. You can take all the time you really need. So, and then you'll, right below the rib cage area, you'll want to take in some breaths. And as you do, you'll kind of put your hand like this and push in and pump the big lymph node in the abdominal area. So it'll be a movement like this. And then right next to your belly button, so find your belly button and go out a little bit and find where there's some tender points in there. And you're going to rub those two spots. Those are more neuro-lymphatic points. And you'll do this until you're like, okay, that feels a lot more relaxed. And then, of course, in the groin area, you'll just want to pump those. So it's just like this, and you're just pumping, so you move up the side of the groin area. And then, let's see here. So on the inner and outer areas of the legs are more neuro-lymphatic points. So what you can do is just rub down your leg. You're just kind of activating or stimulating these points. And then on the back of the knee, you'll do the pumping. And then the same thing as you did down these sides, you'll go down the side of your lower leg. And then you can kind of do some stuff towards the ankle, just stimulate and pump that area. And then you can kind of move that back up. So that covers a lot of the lymphatic points. So hopefully that would kind of troubleshoot any issues that one is having in relation to the lymphatic system that may be causing some swelling or issues that people have noticed when they use castor oil, because sometimes castor oil will do great for the lymphatic system. Where you put the oil, it'll help that. But if there's a stagnation or a lymphatic issue elsewhere, then it can kind of back up. So you want the lymphatic fluid flowing freely everywhere in the body. Rebounding is good for the lymphatic system, which rebounding is jumping on a trampoline. Full body vibration machines are great for the lymphatic system. Walking up and down stairs, great for the lymphatic system. Movement, great for the lymphatic system. Dry skin brushing, great for the lymphatic system if those lymph nodes are pumped and open too. You'll want to make sure that all the areas are flowing freely. So the next one that we'll move on to is you'll have to assess what type of castor oil pack are you using. Is it one with synthetic fibers on it, or one that is organic and free of toxic chemicals? You'll want to assess pretty much everything that you're doing. Sometimes you may want to skin test it before you start to see if there's a reaction. Some people, if they are using it on their eyes and they do wear makeup and use certain products, hairspray, it might overspray, and they might be thinking, no, I don't use anything on my face, it's washed off. Then they can troubleshoot the other areas to make sure it's not being caused by something else. And always want to come back to that lymphatic drainage too, and what type of oil is it. You'll just want to assess every environmentally thing or product that you can think of too. People don't realize too, if you're smoking, your skin is absorbing all that stuff too. So if they're putting it on and they didn't wash their face since this morning and they've smoked cigarettes in the day, that those toxins could be absorbing into the skin with the castor oil as well. So you just want to be really cognizant of what you're around. Maybe you work at a factory and there's all sorts of chemicals throughout the day and you didn't take a shower before putting on the castor oil. You just want to assess every single thing before saying, yeah, I'm just allergic to it, or my skin's really sensitive and is reacting to it. Well, what is it that could be the actual issue, and troubleshoot that. And if all that, you take all those steps, all those precautions, and you're still having issues with it, then maybe it is something within the castor oil that your body just isn't able to tolerate. So if you have any other questions or would like any other help with maybe explaining a certain thing that I talked about, or any other things that you can think of, please leave them in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, like, share. You can find me on Facebook too at Beyond Wellness LLC. I'm also on X under Dr. Andrea Bird, BCND. And I think that's all for today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.